In this video, I'm going to show you how to deploy a simple PHP and MySQL application to shared hosting. To put this live, we need to copy both the PHP scripts and the database to a server that's connected to the internet. This is the code I have running locally. It's very simple PHP that connects to a local MySQL database, selects some data, and then displays it inside some HTML. When running locally, it looks like this. So this is the application I want to get running on my hosting provider. To administer the live web server, I'm going to use cPanel. If you need a shared hosting provider, there's a discount link in the description of this video to my provider of choice. First, we need to access the file manager. This shows you the files you have access to on the live server. The public HTML folder is the root of the web server. So any files you put in here will be accessible in a web browser. Depending on your provider, this might already contain some files by default. If you don't need them, feel free to delete them. So this is the folder where I want to upload the PHP files. Back on my local computer, this is the folder that contains my PHP files. I'm going to select all of these, right-click, and select the option to create an archive. The name we give the zip file doesn't matter, as we're only using it to transfer the files. Note that this might look a bit different on your computer. For example, the option to create a zip file might be called compress to zip file or simply compress. Next, in the cPanel file manager, with the public HTML folder selected on the left, I'll click the upload link at the top, then select the zip file I just created. Now the public HTML folder on the live server contains the zip file. Next, we click on the icon next to the file name, then click the extract link at the top. The path where you want the files to be extracted to will default to the public HTML folder, which is what we want. So we can just click the Extract Files button. Once this has completed, we no longer need the zip file. To delete it, we select the file again and click the Delete link at the top. Now we have the PHP files uploaded. Next, we need to upload the database. To do that, first let's create a database on the live server. So, starting from the cPanel root, in the Databases section, click on the Manage My Databases link. In here, let's create a new database. I'll call mine shopdb to match the local one. Note that the name will automatically include a prefix. Then we need to create a database user that has access to this database. So, on the same Manage My Databases page, let's scroll down to the Add New User form. In here, let's create a new user. I'll call mine shopdbuser. Note that again this will automatically have a prefix applied to it. For the password, I'll use the password generator to generate a secure password. Note that you'll need to copy this password somewhere, as you won't be able to view it once the user has been created. Once we have the username and password, we can click on the Create User button. Finally, on the same screen, we need to add the user to the database. So, in the Add User to Database form, select the user and the database we just created, and click the Add button. In the following Manage User Privileges screen, check the box for all privileges and click the Make Changes button. Now we have an empty database on the live server, we can copy the local database to it. In PHP on my local computer, this is the database I want to copy live. First, we need to export it to a file, which we do in the Export tab. I'll accept the default Quick Export method and click the Export button. This creates and downloads a file that contains the SQL to create the database tables and insert data into them. Next, from cPanel on the live server, we need to access PHP MyAdmin. In the list of databases on the left, I'm going to select the database I created earlier. Then, in the Import tab, in the File to Import section, I'll select the SQL file that I just created locally. I'll leave the defaults for everything else and scroll down and click the Import button. This has created the database on the live server. Finally, we need to configure the code on the live server to access the live database. So in the cPanel file manager, in the config folder, I'm going to select the db.php file and click the Edit link. In here, I need to change the user, password and database to the values I saved earlier. Depending on your host, you might need to change the host value as well. Let's save the changes and close this file. Now, if I go to the live server web address in the browser, we see the application is running successfully. If you don't see this and you get an error, then you need to find out exactly what is causing the error. The error log, which is accessible in the metrics section of cPanel, should tell you more details about the error, exactly what the error is, in which file it's occurring, and so on. When it comes to updates, if you make changes locally and want them live, you can simply upload the updated files to the server and overwrite the existing ones. This approach works for very small projects, but it can be risky. It's easy to miss a file or overwrite the wrong one and accidentally break your live site. A deployment based on version control is much safer and more reliable, but I'll cover that in another video. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.